and welcome to the very first video of our middle years YouTube channel. I am so excited to get this thing finally going. It has been a really hectic week and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. A lot of emails have been sent out. So the reason I'm making this video is because I want to sort of have a conversational tone to everything that we've talked about because there's a lot, and hopefully I can clarify some stuff. I've been asked the same questions pretty much by everyone that I've talked to, so I figure it would be helpful. My hair is like crazy. I figure it would be helpful if I could just explain stuff in a video. So the first thing that I want to say is that I hope all of you guys are well. I have spoken to some of you and it has been so nice to reconnect. I miss you guys so much. I cannot wait to see your faces and hear about all the crazy adventures that you have been doing locked up in your house. So I'm hoping that you guys are getting creative and not just watching TV all day or YouTube all day or whatever it is that you do. But if that is what you've been doing, that's fine. You've technically been on vacation, so all is well. But it is time for us to transition back into school. So let's have a conversation about what is going to happen. So we are onboarding distance learning, and I know that you guys have received a huge email explaining a whole lot of stuff, and I'm just going to summarize it and make it much more easy to digest. Basically, what's happening is the middle years team is creating an online program, essentially. So what we're doing is we're using Google Classroom, Zoom, and YouTube. The reason we're using Google Classroom is because it is a really intuitive and easy way for us to organize all of your assignments, your due dates, your grades, your rubrics, everything like that, and you already know how to do it because of science fair. So that was something that we thought would be a really smooth and easy transition. You guys should have received the codes from all of the teachers in that letter, so make sure that you are in the right class, because if you're not in the right class, you're not going to get the right information. So we're using Google Classroom. We're also going to be using Zoom. And this is one of the things that I've had a lot of questions about. So there's a couple of components to Zoom. First thing is the office hours. So each teacher has office hours, and the only teachers that have mandatory meetings or conferences are myself and Mr. S. So we have weekly conferences with you that we're going to talk to you at a regular basis to check in with you to make sure all is well. And at that point, we can sort of have a conversation. If you're needing more support with something, we can set up a time then to meet at another time. So Zoom we'll use for our weekly conferences, and we're also going to use Zoom for our weekly community meeting, which is going to be on Thursdays at 10 a.m. So we expect everyone to join us for that too. It'll be fun. We'll be able to see everybody's face, and it'll be really nice to reconnect. I'm sure it'll be kind of chaotic, but I think we all need to see each other. The other thing about Zoom is the other teachers that have the office hours, those are just like guaranteed times that you will be able to reach them. So the schedule, for example, for fine arts is Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 12 for film and theater. So that's like the normal schedule, right? So during the week at school on Tuesdays and Thursdays is film and theater. So that would be the time that you would be able to reach your teacher guaranteed. So that's the same also for Ms. Ryan and Mr. Alejandro. So those are like as needed. But also it's super, super important that you understand that as assignments are rolled out, if at any point you have a question or you need support with anything, all you have to do is send us an email or get in touch with us, through Google Classroom or an email, and we will set up a conference. So those are not the only times that you're going to be talking to us during the week. Those are just the minimum, I guess we should say, the minimum number of times that you'll be talking to us during the week. And, if you don't need to talk to Miss Jean about an art assignment, you don't have to talk to Miss Jean about an art assignment. Those are just the times that your teachers are guaranteed to be available. So that explains kind of the office hours. The other thing that we're going to be using Zoom for is periodic group classes. So we did not set up a schedule of classes like, for example, every Tuesday from 1 to 2 we have algebra. We did not do that. And the reason that we didn't do that is because you guys are all pretty independent with how you're working. And given the circumstances, we just thought that it would be best if you guys could just do your own thing as far as pace is concerned. So we are expecting everybody to kind of stay within the window of deadlines that's given on Google Classroom, but we respect that some students work differently than others. So some students may want to do their work at 8 p.m. and some may want to do their work at 8 a.m. So we just want to give you guys the freedom to do your work as you want to do your work. So the YouTube component I'm really excited about. This is an opportunity for us to sort of have conversations about material, to show you stuff, to explain how to do things, to give you examples for problems, for experiments, stuff like that. And then you'll have access to that video over time. So with Zoom, it's kind of just a one-time conversation, and we hope you remember it. But with YouTube, you'll have the video forever, and you can consistently reference it as you're working through assignments. So on Google Classroom, you will find links to YouTube videos. You'll find links to additional instructions and stuff like that. So these are all resources that we're going to be creating over time to help you learn the new material that's coming your way. So let's see. So we talked about Google Classroom, we talked about Zoom, and we talked about YouTube. And I'm pretty sure that that is like it, right? So a couple of other important things to remember. So it's Friday night now, and your review materials have already started to get posted. So when you are checking out Google Classroom, make sure that you're kind of up to date on that and understand that Monday is when the new stuff is coming. So unless I've had a conversation privately with you, then you can expect new material to come on Monday. And I'm sure the same is this, I'm sure it's the same for Mr. S and as well Miss Ryan and Mr. Alejandro. Everybody is going to try to stay pretty parallel with how they're doing things, but to an extent, things will fluctuate a little bit. So I can only really speak for my own classes, but yeah, so keep up with Google Classroom and be mindful of Zoom. Make sure you have Zoom installed on your computer and it's ready to go and it's easy to use. And it really is super easy to use. It's free to set up. You don't have to do anything to set up an account except just enter an email address, but it's a super legit thing to do. So there shouldn't be any issues at all with that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say because I know there's a lot of information and I want to make sure that you guys have like easy explanation. I guess another thing that people had asked about was attendance, so I can talk about that real quick. One of the things that is important to remember is that we are approaching this situation with as much grace and courtesy as we can. This is obviously a strange situation, and we also don't know quite when it's going to be over. So we're hoping that we're going to be back at school the middle of April, but at the same time, we understand that this is a very dynamic situation, and so we're just staying open-minded. So with that, the way that we're doing attendance is essentially with like our best judgment, right? So are you showing up to your conferences that you have scheduled with us? Are your assignments getting turned in on time? And like, are you generally available? If the answer is yes to those questions, then like, yay, good job, you are at school. If we're having trouble getting you to turn stuff in and you're not really communicating with us and you're skipping conferences, then we might have a little bit of a problem, and we will obviously just be reaching out to you and to your parents as well to make sure that everything is okay, because we would want to know why you were MIA. Oh, I really hope that this answers a lot of your questions. I hope I didn't create new questions because that would be quite silly. But there's going to be a lot of videos, and I'm hoping that they're going to be fun and silly and that you guys look forward to them, because I know that this is kind of a funky time and we all miss you very much. It's been so wonderful working with the middle years team this week and to see how much everybody cares, how hard everybody is working. And I know that everyone is going to be really excited to reconnect with you guys. So um, I'm going to leave it at that, but I will definitely talk with you guys soon. And yeah, so enjoy your last weekend before we start school again. And oh, I have to say this, subscribe or subscribe. I don't know which side it's on. Subscribe so you don't miss any updates to the Middle Years YouTube channel. Okay, see you guys.